Is this thing on? Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Soft Spirals. I'm your host, Sierra. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about midlife crisis. Just kidding. Kinda. We're halfway through 2026. Now, what do we do? Seriously. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about quarter three reset, reviewing quarter two. And if you're like, girl, what are you talking about? Quarter two, quarter three? What about quarter one? Just keep listening. Okay, I'm going to explain. And I'm going to talk about summer side quests because although the year is halfway over, it is still hot girl summer. We still have things to do. We're going to live our best life and we're going to end this year with a big bang. And it starts with closing out summer. Summer is like nowhere near being done, at least where I'm at. It's going to be hot for another few months. It's brutal out here. But anyway, let's get into it. Also, I just want to let y'all know I'm probably going to be looking off to the side and down because I didn't really make a script for this episode. I did, but it's more of a rough draft with bullet points. I got my journal with me. I got my laptop literally right here. And yeah, I'm gonna try to edit, or I might get lazy. So you may be seeing all the little. Anyway, yeah, so like I said, we're halfway through 2026. So we're going to do a reflection first. I want y'all to think about these questions. I really want y'all to reflect, think back on what you've done so far this year. We're in July, okay? So January through June, maybe even July, because we're nearing the end of July. This year is literally flying by. Anyway, some things to think about. What surprised you this year? What challenge made you stronger? What habit actually stuck? What did you quit that needed quitting? What did you spend way too much energy on? Lastly, 6, did your definition of success change? So in my last episode, I talked about comparing your life to others, redefining success to better fit your needs, or just to cut us some slack, we are alive, we are breathing, we are doing the thing. 1% of growth is growth, so it literally does not matter. If you listened to my last episode, how did you redefine success for yourself in your life? If you haven't listened to my last episode, what are you doing? Let's go back and listen. And these are maybe some non-glamorous, out there ways that we redefined success, or things that we did to change our lives that better fit our needs, right? Maybe your dopamine menu became scrolling TikTok. Maybe it became having coffee out in the morning. I will not be doing that. Like I said, it is real hot here, y'all, and I started drinking iced coffee. Anyway, maybe it became weekly walks. Maybe it became saying no. So with redefining success, thinking about your goals and all that, you need to notice how much you've already grown before adding more goals. So remember, tiny actions compound. You don't become a different person overnight. You become them through repeated action and consistency. So halfway through 2026, it's almost August. I'm gonna claim it. Like I said, we're at the end of July. So let's think about what would make our future selves happy by December. Okay, not impressed, but proud. So I don't know if anyone, if you're listening to this, watching this, whatever, I don't know if anyone's made New Year's resolutions. I do partake in them yearly, but they got a makeover this year because I didn't just make New Year's resolutions. I made goals for the whole year, but then as we go through the quarters, I focus on specific goals and then really try to break down those individual goals into more manageable steps, right? So I'll think about things that I need to do to get there. I can't just say I want to journal more. I can't just say I want to save $5,000. I can't just say I want it, whatever it was, right? I mean, you can just say that, but will you really hit your mark? Probably not. You want to think about your goals and you want to identify any challenges, right? So, for example, the saving money one. You can say you want to save $100, $5,000, $10,000. I don't know what tax bracket you in, what your expenses are, but yeah, whatever the amount is, right? What are some, what's the word? I feel like I just said it. What are some things that you can expect to get in your way of reaching that goal? For me, it's shopping. Okay, for me, it's traveling. Okay. For me, it's hot wings. All right. For me, it's buying yarn. I got so much yarn. Y'all see that door right there? It's literally filled with yarn. Okay. And I was trying to talk myself into buying more yarn today, and I'm getting off topic. But yeah, you want to think about things that can possibly get in your way of achieving your goal. Once you identify those things, then you want to figure out ways to like avoid it. So like let's say for example, goal is saving money, right? You know you like to shop. You know you like to go out and buy coffee every morning. I don't know. Those I'm just gonna rock with those two examples, okay? Maybe you need to really get disciplined. Maybe give yourself a certain time of the month to go shopping. Like for me personally, this isn't necessarily related to shopping, but it kind of is. I try not to spend money the first week of the month because the first week of the month, rent's due. That's my biggest bill. Okay. And yeah, so I try to just make that the week that I stay at home. I clean. I do free activities like crochet or color. Maybe I want to doom scroll TikTok. I do that every day, regardless of the week. But basically, I designated a certain week of the month to where I try not to spend. Have I been doing great at it? No, but it's in my mind and it helps a little bit. Okay. So maybe the third week of the month, I don't know, last week of the month, that's when you can actually go out and do a little shopping. But you also have to maybe, I don't know, go over your spending for the month so far or the previous month, and see actually how much you're working with and how much you can spend. Or maybe you want to turn shopping into like a reward. So like if your goal is to save X amount of dollars, break that down into like monthly amounts to get to your total goal, your end goal. And before you go shopping, before you buy anything that maybe you need, or maybe you just want, make sure you're hitting your smaller goals first. So like simple math, okay? Let's say the goal is to save $1,200 by the end of the year. That means you have to save $100 a month. Before you go shopping at the end of July, you need to look at June and see if you saved $100. If you did save $100, you better spend in that bank account. So those are just things like that's how you should break down your goals. Maybe like not that's how you should break down your goals, but it helps to actually think about it. Like you can't just say you want to journal more. How are you going to make that easier for you? How are you going to achieve that goal? Maybe you want to put your journal next to your bed. So when you wake up, it's right there. Maybe you want to wake up 10 minutes earlier, set an alarm and put in the title of the alarm, wake up and write, wake up and journal, right? Maybe you want to get an app that sends you reminders or something. Like instead of just saying you're going to do the thing, you have to put things and routines in place so that you can do the thing. I feel like this is like Gen Z, Zillennial explaining. It kind of doesn't make sense. Um, I'm probably going to go back to writing scripts for my episodes. Anyway, like I said, I have my laptop right here. So I'm going to go ahead and share with y'all my goals that like I created for 2026. It's kind of a lot. I'm not going to bore y'all with every little thing. I'll like put a picture right here so that y'all can see it and read it if you are so curious. But basically, my goals for the year, I broke them down into categories. So the main categories I have are personal, health and wellness, career, finance, relationships, and personal growth. And at the time of making this, back in January this year, my top three goals for the year are finance, relationships, and personal growth. Wow. I planned quarter three, and like those were my big three for this quarter. Let me look through my journal. They may have been my big three for quarter two and quarter one as well. No, quarter two, I had career. So, yeah, like for example, my personal goals, and these are kind of just like random stuff, I guess, like typical New Year's resolutions you may see people like jotting down or saying they're going to do in January, and they're like so vague, and it's like, okay, how are you going to do that? And I'm not even trying to like talk smack. Like I've done this before too. I say, ooh, I want to go to LA this year. I want to go on a solo trip. I want to like, I don't know. Anyway, My personal goals are to focus are to focus on one crochet project a month, and I've been doing that. So that is checked off on my list. I want to rent or buy a house. Actively working on that. I'm going to share when I discuss my goals for quarter 3. For artist markets, I have yet to do a single artist market this year, and this is probably one of the goals that I'm not going to complete by the end of this year. Not to be like a Debbie Downer, I'm just being realistic and I'm being honest with myself and I'm going easy on myself. Like, just because I wrote these things down does not mean that they have to be done by the end of the year. And if they're not done by the end of the year, guess what? It's okay. It is okay. I want to take a solo trip, being cliche. And I want to master new yoga poses. I still have time to do that. Career, I have things like, some of these are kind of like, I feel like cheating in a way because, like, for example, did I put graduate? Yeah, I put graduate with my MPA. Like, I knew that was going to happen. I was literally in my last semester when I wrote down these goals, and I was like, what's something that I know I can check off? And I put that down because I knew I was graduating. Like, I was actively working on my capstone. But that's another thing too. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I get so much satisfaction. I get a huge dopamine boost when I check things off my list, right? So, not to downplay graduating with my master's because I did that. But sometimes it can really help for you to put something on your like list that you know you've actively been working on for the past year or 2 or 3 or 4, and like you know you're like getting really close to achieving it. Like, write that down. That still counts. Okay. Like, no, this wasn't a new goal necessarily. When I started writing my goals for this year, I had been working on it for the past, like, I don't know, 2 years. um but it is a huge milestone, and that was something that I knew I could definitely check off by the end of this year. So I did it. It's something about like checking boxes. Try it. Try it. Yeah, I'm not going to bore y'all with all of these. Actually, I'm going to read y'all my personal growth goals. So one of my goals is to read at least 5 books. I'm at 2, I think. I don't know if I really want to count audiobooks or not, because I read a book and then I listened to an audiobook, and I'm working on my third, maybe second. I don't know. I'll see how many books I read by the end of the year if I need to count the audiobooks. I want to learn a new skill. I have knitting on my list. I want to go to therapy regularly. I have started that, and I have been going regularly so far. So, go me. I wanted to go to an event alone, and I did that. I went to a concert. I saw Body Snatcher, and it was amazing. Anyway, those are all like, vague goals, right? Like, go to an event alone. Like, I didn't have to really plan that out. I just picked an event and went. But the things like, I don't know, reading at least 5 books, maybe select the books that you want to read, maybe set aside time in your day to sit down and read a book. So yeah, those are my overall goals for the year. I'm going to skip like quarter 1 and just reflect on quarter 2 with you all right now. So I did quarter 1 goals on my laptop on Canva. Quarter 2, I actually wrote it in my journal. It looks like this. It's super cute. Super cute. The main goal is to focus on like 1 to maybe 3 goals specifically during a quarter. Quarter's 3 months. If you can tackle a goal a month, that's great. Or depending on like I don't know, how severe or how like much energy and time or efforts required for that goal, it may take you the whole 3 months. Who knows? But last quarter, so that was April, May, and June, my goals were career, um, financial, and then I guess like personal growth or health and wellness. Anyway, so my main goal, my general goal for my career last quarter was to progress in career goals. That sounded so redundant. Anyway, I wanted to graduate, professional headshots, post on LinkedIn for May and June. I had already posted for April. Look at that. I was already doing like a little review in here while I was writing this. Reading this, I did not post for May, but I did post in June. So that's something. That's something. And I wanted to plan for professional certificate courses. Um, so my action steps, I wrote down the things that I wanted to do. Like the general thing was to progress in my career goals. What are the action steps that I'm going to take? I wrote down like plan headshots, go to graduation. I actually had like an hour commute. Like I literally had to go to graduation. It was a whole thing. Um, I wrote down enroll in a graduate certificate program at the U of M or find online courses. I'm gonna tell right now. Actually, no, I'm not even going to speak that into existence. I might enroll in a graduate certificate program. I don't know. I can definitely do that winter of this year. I can definitely find an online course for sure. And this is not necessarily career related. It could be, but for right now, it's more like health and wellness. I plan on enrolling in a yoga like teaching certification course so I can become yoga certified and just like deepen my knowledge, and also maybe teach classes. I don't know. You're gonna need a second job. And then my last action step was to post a reflection about my MPA courses with my diploma and headshots. And I did that late. I posted that in June, like a whole month after I had already graduated. So those are my action steps. I also wrote down my motivation, possible obstacles, and how to overcome obstacles. So this is what I'm talking about when I say like when you write down your goals, think about what might get in your way, and you want to try to plan on how to avoid those things. I really don't know how to explain that. I'm so sorry, and I don't know if this is something that's like easy to wrap your mind around. Me as a teacher, that's what a lesson plan is. Like you make a plan and you're like, all right, what about the 112 problems that will arise when I'm trying to do this lesson plan? My possible obstacles for this goal specifically was a hair crisis. I quite literally was going through a hair crisis, y'all. Like beginning of quarter two, I was broke. I was trying something new with my hair. I was wearing it straightened, like my natural hair, and just straightened it. Yeah, I put no time in quotation marks because I procrastinate. I knew I was going to be overwhelmed with everything that was going on in the month of May. And I knew I would claim that I didn't have time. But really, it was just going to be me like freaking out and shutting down because I had big events coming up and I had a lot of things that required thoughts and effort. And it's easy for me to say that I have no time and to kind of just procrastinate and not hit the mark because I had no time, right? Right. Funds. That's another possible obstacle. Like I said, I was broke. I was broke. We're getting better. Okay. And then imposter syndrome slash procrastination slash self sabotage. I basically explained that with my no time possible obstacle. And then I wrote down some things on how to overcome my obstacles, like schedule my hair appointment. I did that. This is so nice, y'all. This is like, not to make everything about me, but like, this is so nice to actually look at this. I wrote this stuff in April and like, I wrote down the things that I needed to do to overcome these obstacles. And I actually did it. Like, it's nice to look back and see it. Anyway, I scheduled my hair appointment. I experimented with hairstyles between now and April 30th. I did that. Um, I planned my events. So I planned a whole birthday party for myself. It was a themed party, like proud of myself. Um, I saved money and I worked for extra funds or found free courses. I did not work for extra funds at all during quarter two. I don't know what I did to bring in extra discretionary income, y'all. So that did not happen. Maybe I didn't need it. I made it work. And my last way to overcome obstacles was just do it. Self talk right there. I wrote it right there. Also, this is a Savage X Fenty journal. So yeah, my second goal was to save at least $800. Now, I will say I don't know if I actually did that, but I will say I've done some things in quarter two, and I wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't have extra money. So I'm just gonna say I did it. Okay. So my action steps were to save $100 specifically in April, and then $350 in May and June. I didn't really write down why there's a difference in those numbers, probably because, like I said, I was broke in May. Another action step was to transfer money each payday or automate transfers. I did not automate nothing. I keep saying I'm going to do that. And that's one thing I haven't had the guts to do. Um, budget and track spending, and then save money by buying food on sale, cooking at home more, and no spend weeks. Referring back to my no spend week on the first of the month or the first week of the month. So, a possible obstacle is for me reaching that goal where money in low funds, forgetting to transfer money, not enjoying food at home, or impulse stress shopping. And what I came up with to overcome those obstacles was to budget, set a reminder slash automate transfers. Auto, Automizing my savings always comes up in my planning, and I have yet to do it, y'all. I need to do it because this is embarrassing for myself. Meal plan and make grocery lists before shopping. Write down what I need slash want and perform a use audit. So wait at least 3 weeks and then revisit it. And I feel like I can't think of it exactly, like a moment or an item or a thing that I recently got or needed, but I feel like I do that. Like lately, I've been really good about not just pressing buy on Amazon or going to the store and like impulsively buying something. Like I actually think about it. Like, do I want this? Yes. But do I need it? No, because I have a perfectly good coffee maker at the house or I have soap at the house. Does it maybe smell good? No, it's just regular Dove, but it gets the job done. Stuff like that. I will say I feel like I've noticed that in my personal life and I've been doing great. I feel like I'm talking so much. But anyway, my last goal was to be more health conscious. This is the goal that I really sucked at this quarter. My action steps were to meal prep weekly. I ain't been meal prepping. I've been cooking a lot more at home, but has it been meal prepping? No. And I feel like if I meal prepped, I wouldn't have been as stressed. But I did it. Do a class once a week. I did not do a class once a week. Really, my physical activity came in bursts. Like I really didn't do anything for April. In May, I did a little bit. And then like in June, I was like, oh, I'm at the end of the quarter. Let me do something to make myself feel better. And I did it for like maybe 2 weeks, and then that was it. Eat fruits and veggies daily. I don't know about that one. Anyway, I mean, I've been like eating pouched applesauce like every day. I'm gonna count that. That's literally why I bought it, so I could try to eat fruit daily and make it more convenient for me. Is that probably a full serving? No, but it's something. So yeah, I know I haven't been eating veggies daily, but that's okay. And I haven't drank 6 cups of water daily, but I have been more mindful of that. I did the 75 soft challenge in the first quarter of the year. I did pretty good. I did pretty good. And my main like habit that I wanted to instill was my water intake. And surprisingly, that was like my best habit during quarter one. Like I drank a lot of water. Was it 6 cups every day? No, but it was a lot more than what I'm normally like drinking. Um, I don't know how y'all do it. Speaking of water, I forgot I brought a soda to drink while I'm recording this. Y'all, let me tell you, I went to Sam's Club and I got a whole case of this stuff. It's the dirty sodas. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. I've been seeing all the dirty sodas and stuff being advertised, like I don't know, at all these fast food restaurants, and I'm just like, ugh, dirty soda. Like y'all not about to get me to go to McDonald's. Y'all not about to get me to go to whatever they sell them at. And then I went to Sam's and I saw like a case of dirty sodas. They had the Pepsi. They have the Mountain Dew. I wouldn't even drink Mountain Dew like that. And then they have the root beer. And I was like, you know what? I do like soda. And now I can be like, I got dirty soda at the house. Like, why I need to go to McDonald's for? I don't even know where they sell them at. I'm just saying McDonald's. That's like the only fast food chain that's like coming to mind right now. Mm-hmm. One thing about me, I love a soda. Coke specifically. Love a Coca-Cola. Love a vanilla Coke. That's like, anyway, let me not talk about this. Let's stick to the topic. Once again, I think I'm making a script for my next episode because I'm just too rambly. Too rambly. Um, sorry, I'm so dramatic. So I'm looking at my possible obstacles for the last goal that I wrote down for quarter two, which was like being more health conscious. My possible obstacles were feeling lazy and procrastination, And the things that I wrote down to overcome my obstacles was to remember my why. If you're a teacher, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said that. I really hate it. But remember my why. Um, I'm definitely adding this for the rest of the year. I forgot I wrote this down. Unhealthy tab. So, or unhealthy tax. Same difference. Anyway, each day I do not drink 6 cups of water, eat fruit or veggies. I add $5 per category to my high yield savings account. Whoa, I owe myself a lot of money. Anyway, and then pull from my dopamine menu as a reward for making healthy choices. I have been pulling from my dopamine menu a lot more, especially past quarter two. So was I pulling from my dopamine menu for making healthy choices? No, but I have definitely been utilizing that. So yeah, enough talking about me. If y'all did not make New Year's resolutions, if you didn't make goals, if you do not break your goals down into quarters to make them more like easily tracked or managed for you, um, we're gonna do that now. We're halfway through the year. We have more than enough time to tackle some goals. They don't have to be many. It can be one. It can be two. It can be 20. Okay. Um, as you can see, or as you saw, I feel like I have lots of checked boxes on my 2026 goals, and I'm only halfway through the year. So I believe in you. You definitely can do it. So if you're like, I don't really know exactly what I want to do or like what my goal should be about, maybe think about, I don't know, health wise, creativity wise, finances, relationships. I feel like those are the big ones, right? Your body, your temple, we're living, we're breathing, we're successful. Take care of your body, right? Maybe if you're a creative or you want to become more creative, like we can make that a goal. Okay, there's lots of YouTube videos out there, lots of TikTok creators. You can learn a new skill. Trust me. Finances, everyone needs to be financially smart. In this economy, we all need to save something. I don't care if it's $100 by the end of the year or more. Like, set a goal and save something. Okay, something is better than nothing. I feel like I've talked to other people about this, because everyone's always like, oh, I can't save or I can't save. And they say they can't save because maybe they can't save a significant amount that they would like to, which I get. And I'm kind of a hypocrite, because I get the same way a lot. But like, it does not matter if you're saving $1 a month, $10 a month, $100 a month, or 1,000 a month. The point is that you're saving and you're building that habit, by doing that. And so maybe if you're at, I can only save $10 a month right now, that's perfectly fine. That's great. You want to know why? Because by the end of the year, you're going to have maybe $100, 120, and you can go get a nice steak dinner. I don't know. Y'all ever like been down bad and like you really had nothing and you really, really, really want to go out to dinner, or you really, really, really want to just like spend money, but you don't have money to spend responsibly? Like, there's been times where I've literally only had like $40 in my savings account. And it also just so happened that it was that point in time where, I mean, I only had $40 in my savings account, right? I was real broke, needed to get to work. Guess what? That $40 came in handy because it got me gas. It got me gas and held me off until my next paycheck. Okay. So, like I said, it does not matter if it does not matter. Just do it. Okay. Just do it, instill that habit. And then the habit can only improve as your situation improves. Think about those main categories like creativity, relationships, finances, health and wellness, maybe your home, or maybe just like happiness, like mental health. I feel like that should go in with health and wellness anyway. But I want y'all to like pick one category, maybe two or three. I don't know. Like I said, we're halfway through the year. Let's be realistic, right? So pick those main categories and maybe pick 1 to 2 subcategories. So, like, if you're going to do health and wellness, maybe your subcategories might look like, you want to drink 6 cups of water daily. I'm laughing because that's my goal and I kind of suck at it. But maybe you want to drink 6 cups of water daily, and maybe you want to lose 5 pounds. Maybe you want to gain 5 pounds. You don't got to lose it. You can gain it. I don't know what y'all out here doing. So those are like two subcategories, right? Maybe for creativity, a subcategory could be, I don't know, you've never been to a play and you want to go to a play before the year's over. Easily doable. Maybe catch a free one, even better. Maybe you want to learn how to improve your shading if you draw. You can probably watch a bunch of YouTube videos, go to TikTok, learn how to do that. Maybe you want to learn how to crochet. You can definitely learn how to do that. Um, Maybe you want to just be outside in nature and collect leaves and flower petals and greenery, and you want to go home and press them, and you want to do something spunky with it, like, I don't know, put them in scrapbooks or maybe make coasters with it. Like, that's creative. You could definitely do that. And you got 6 months to do it. That would be so cute. I just thought about it. Like, collecting leaves now, and then as the last 6 months of the year go and the colors start to change, I'm doing that. I'm doing that. I actually, one reason why that's an example is because I literally bought a coaster making kit, and I'm pressing some rose petals right now, and I'm gonna like make resin coasters, and I think it would be so cute to make coasters with like different colors of leaves, like a set of fall coasters, and it's like yellow and orange and brown dead leaves, and then for summer just like bright green, and then maybe like for winter coasters with like evergreen leaves, and like spring like a bunch of flower petals. That would be so cute. That's a great idea. Y'all do it. That's a great idea. So yeah, regardless of what your goals look like, what you aspire to do, what you want to do, whatever, write them down. Think about what might get in your way, and think about ways that you can overcome that. Okay, and also think about ways that you can identify improvement and success, because remember, 1% of success is still success. It's still growth. You don't have to completely, I don't know, hit the mark. And I keep going back to finances, maybe because it's always in my head, but also I feel like it's just so easily like quantifiable. So, like for example, if you want to save $1,000 by the end of the year, if you don't have $1,000 saved, but you have 900 saved, that is a 90% success rate. I don't even know if I'm using the right terms, but like, you get what I'm saying, right? Like, don't just say, "Oh, I didn't meet my mark, so I didn't do it." No, you saved a significant amount, so it's still good. And then same thing with like weight gain or weight loss. Let's say you want to gain 10 pounds. That's one of my personal goals. Like, by the end of the year, if I don't have an extra 10 pounds on that scale when I step up on it, but if I have five, I'm halfway there. That's still good. And same thing if you're trying to lose weight. Don't beat yourself up if you're like, I want to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever. And by the end of the year, you've lost half that amount. You still lost some, right? That's growth. That's progress. Okay. Oh, now enough of, I don't want to say boring stuff. It's kind of fun, but I feel like I've definitely been rambling. But enough of that. Let's talk about 2026 side quests. So we're gonna cram in some last minute side quests for 2026 because, like I said, summer is not over. Okay, summer's not over. We still have time for fun in the sun, and we're going to end 2026 with a bang, right? Right. Okay. So I'm looking at my laptop. I wrote down a lot. Get a pen and get a paper. You're gonna want to write down some things. So these are some like last minute side quests to cram in just for funsies. They may be more tailored to like me and my liking. So if you're like, all these suck, that's okay. Come up with your own. But I'm gonna give y'all like my ideas. And maybe you're like, that's cute. That's whimsical. That is beneficial. I'm gonna do that. So read outside, watch a sunrise or watch a sunset. I don't know if you're a morning person, night owl, maybe do both. I'm definitely going to try to watch one sunrise and watch a sunset before the summer's over. Um, Eat fruit from a farmer's market. This is something that I can easily do. And especially if you are listening in Memphis, hit up the farmer's market, y'all. I don't really know where they are. I think there's one like in the South Main district. I think they have one in Overton Park. Do I know exactly when they have them? No, but I know they happen pretty regularly. And I've been here my whole life and I have yet to go to a farmer's market here. So I want to go to a farmer's market and I want to eat some fruit. Okay. Make homemade lemonade is another last minute summer side quest you can cram in. Try a coffee shop you've never been to. Go on a picnic. Buy flowers for yourself. Walk somewhere without headphones. Find a local event. Visit a museum. Also, once again, if you are listening in Memphis, which I feel like most of anyone who's listening or watching this is, there is a new like interactive, it's not a museum necessarily, I don't think. It's a new interactive space, BVO. I know the acronym. I don't really remember what it was called. It's like Baron von Opperbeam or something. I'm gonna look it up after I finish recording this, and I want to know if I am way off. But I know it's BVO. Just look at BVO Memphis, and it'll pop up. That is something you can definitely check out. Go to something. It's new, and it's in Memphis. So, go to an event alone slash take a solo trip. Paint outside. These are for my artsy people. And even if you're not artsy, even if you don't paint, if you've never painted before, go to Michael's. Go on Amazon, order some supplies. Go to Walmart. Go to your local art supply center, preferably. Okay. Get some paint. Get a canvas. Get some multimedia paper. Get some paintbrushes. Whatever, and just paint. It does not matter if you know how to paint. Don't if you've never painted before. Don't even be like, I'm gonna paint a portrait. I mean, you can try. Like, go for it. I wouldn't do that. But literally go play around with paint. Literally get your hands dirty and just smear it all over everything. Don't think too much about it. And I can guarantee you, you might really like the outcome. I might be biased though. I don't know. Almost done with the summer side quest. Make a summer playlist. Stargaze. Make a new recipe. Watch an old favorite movie. Have a phone free afternoon or day. I don't know how crazy y'all thinking about getting. I can probably do a phone free afternoon, not a whole day though. And have a sleepover. So these side quests aren't necessarily productive, but they're memorable, right? Now for the more boring and slightly anxiety inducing stuff, I guess. These are things that we may want to or need to do before January. We may need to do this before 2026 is over. Finish or read one book. That's personal. Yeah. Okay. Declutter one room. Like I said, this door right here, that storage closet, I'm actually like moving soon anyway, so I kind of have to do this by default. But if you got a junk drawer or a junk closet or a junk room, spare room, whatever, declutter it. Okay. Go ahead and do it. Take yourself on a date. Update your resume. Get a health checkup. Try a new hobby maybe. Save your first 500 or next. Start the emergency fund. Like I said, that emergency fund can be $100, and that's going to be an emergency dinner that you really, really want. It does not matter. Okay, but start an emergency fund. Maybe that's kind of contradicting. Your emergency fund should be like if you lose your job, right? Or if you like need a new car, or something happens to your car and it's in the shop. Like, I guess more important things. But yeah, regardless, start an emergency fund. Okay. Take more pictures and print or draw your favorite ones. I don't even remember writing this. I'm gonna do that. Write a letter to future you, whether it's future you 10 years from now or it's future you in 2027. Delete apps that steal your time or suck your energy. Now, don't delete Teams or your email, okay? I mean, like, I don't know, if Facebook's depressing, delete it. If TikTok takes up your time, delete it. Build your dopamine menu if you haven't already. If you listen to my last episode, I talked about building a dopamine menu. And if you're here listening right now and you still haven't made your dopamine menu, what are you doing? Build your dopamine menu. Donate clothes. Take PTO. And I don't care if you don't got PTO. Prepare the others. Take a day off. You deserve, okay? You deserve. Start therapy. I think everyone can benefit from therapy. I don't care if you're not depressed. Therapy isn't for depressed people. Um, Start therapy. Maybe you can talk to your therapist about hitting some of your goals before the end of this year. That's what I'm talking to my therapist about. We're tackling things. We're tackling my life, and I'm getting stuff done. Third session, she's like, I see improvement, and I was like, you're still gonna talk to me though, okay? We're not ending this. We're not ending this just yet. Apply for the opportunity. I would say leave the job, but in this economy, like don't do that. Okay, wait, keep it, hold it nice and dear to your heart, but apply for the opportunity. Okay, we got to be smart. We got to be smart about this. And I don't know your situation, but depending on your situation, if your work is very toxic, go back and like listen to other things that we might need to do before the end of this year. So if you're stuck in a toxic work environment, start seeing a therapist and focus on that emergency fund so you can quit that job. Okay. There's a podcaster, financial feminist. I forget her name. I'm bad with names in general, but she's the host of Financial Feminist. I think she wrote a book and everything, but she talks about FU funds or FU money. And I love that because if you're in a toxic, blah, 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 because if you're in a toxic situation, you have FU money to just be like, FU, I quit, or FU, I move out, or FU, I'm breaking up. Like, I love that. Emergency fund, FU money, whatever you want to call it. So, before I let you all go and work on creating your goals for the end of the year, and maybe working on some of these summer side quests that I'm assigning you, or just random tasks that we may need to do before the end of this year, I have some homework. So, I want y'all to write down 3 things: one habit to continue, one habit to stop, and one thing you've been putting off. That's it. Just those 3 things. Just those 3. I'll go first. One habit I want to continue is this: holding myself accountable, making videos, pretending like I'm some big famous podcaster, um, and doing the thing. Because by me helping you, anyone who's watching this or listening, probably no one, but by me helping anyone else or putting things out there, I'm also holding myself accountable. Like, I feel like it's better to learn when you try to teach as well. Everyone's not a perfect teacher. Everyone doesn't have the right things for you, but like putting that out there in a way to help others in return helps you. And then also taking in information from anyone and seeing and hearing all these different perspectives can be beneficial for you to tailor like what you want to take from it, you know? One habit to stop. That's a hard one. I actually don't know. I mean, I do know, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I would say one habit I could stop, my not so serious one, would be like not like getting on my phone first thing in the morning. Like, I wake up and I'll stay in bed and I'm like checking my email, I'm scrolling on Instagram or TikTok. I don't think necessarily getting up and getting on my phone and like checking emails and stuff like that is necessarily bad, but it is like stressful for me. And I don't think I need that stress right when I wake up. Um, because like when I tell y'all, I will wake up in the morning and like I'm checking emails, I'm checking the status of my job application, I'm paying bills, I'm reviewing my budget. Why am I doing all of that at 5 in the morning? Like, girl, wait, drink a cup of water, okay? Brush your teeth, get a glass of coffee. Y'all said cup of water and glass of coffee. What? Anyway, like do that first and then stress about life. Like I do that while I'm in bed. Anyway, that's one thing I want to stop. Like I actually want to wake up and just be a fairy, you know? Like I don't want to I don't want to think about bills or jobs or no, none of that. And one thing that I've been putting off. What's something that I've been putting off? I actually can't think of anything. I don't think there's anything I've been putting off. I feel like I've actively been working on the things that I want. And I'm proud of that for me. Anyway, yeah, that's it. I want y'all to reflect, okay? Maybe comment down below if you're comfortable with sharing. Now it's time for our scrambled eggs segment. I really had this idea. I think I mentioned this in my last episode, but I really wanted to like make the scrambled eggs episodes like um their own standalone things. And I like wasn't thinking. I like did a poll on my Instagram and like this is something I wanted to do, but I wanted to talk about Love Island. The season's over. I couldn't record the episode fast enough. The season's over. And I should have known because like it was like maybe 2 weeks left when I was like talking about that and brainstorming. But I also talk about it because I'm one of them crazy fans. Like we're gonna continue talking about Love Island. And I actually started watching Love Island UK, the current season this year. So maybe I might yeah. But no. So scrambled eggs segment for today. Like I said, I'm in therapy. And my last therapy session, I think my next one is this week. Yeah, I'm excited. But anyway, my last session, my therapist, she asked me, she's like, "Are you like one of those people that like as soon as you clear your plate, like you got to put more stuff on it?" And I was like, "Oh, absolutely." And like she was just like, "Hmm," and I was like, "Hmm, what does that mean?" Um, but yeah, no, that was it. Nothing too crazy. If it works, it works, and I like it, and it works for me. Okay, and I am on medication, and it's not working. But anyway, that's it for today's episode. So this is a reminder: you don't need to become a whole new person by December. This is not what I'm saying. Okay, I'm gonna be the same Sierra by the end of December. Maybe with just more money saved, maybe 10 pounds heavier. Maybe what's the other thing I want to do? Maybe I'm going to be yoga certified. Okay, like, but essentially the same Sierra, right? So instead of trying to like reinvent your life and become someone different, we just need to keep pouring into ourselves. Keep showing up for the version of yourself that you're becoming. Maybe that means reading one more chapter, going on that solo date, saving $20, taking one more walk, calling your family, finally applying to that job. Okay, no imposter syndrome, making your dopamine menu, choosing yourself one more time. Growth isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it just looks like becoming 1% better again and again and again. And before you know it, you've built a life that you love, a life that felt impossible 6 months ago. So, with that being said, if you're also in your draft mode era, figuring things out era, you're in the right place. Once again, this is Soft Spirals, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Bye.